Dear Spirit, please connect me with a past loved one of any of my subscribers or anyone who will be watching this video. As I sit in my sacred space out in the universe, connecting with Spirit, Spirit shows me like a cloud of galaxies, stars, nebulas placed underneath me to comfort me, to let me know I am supported. I receive the words mystery and mystified, and the words seeing eye. I receive the words you do deserve it. I receive the words this could be military. Also the words force and phonics. I receive the words expose someone of that nature. I'm getting that there is someone coming through who has subtly come through other readings. And I've spoke about this before, where there's someone who is foreign, and by that I mean not a citizen of my country, which is the United States. There is someone who speaks another language. There is also someone who forces themselves upon others. There's actually more than one person that does this. This is a male figure. In prior readings, I've picked up on forced sex. And so that's what I'm getting with this word forced. I'm getting that this word is describing this person. And phonics is having to do with hearing them speak. Spirit is telling me that they may try to cover up their accent. And I'm receiving the word actor. In prior readings, information about this person has come through as possibly being French or speaking French. It doesn't have to be, because I do feel like I may be talking about more than one person. I do feel like there's someone who fits this bill, but there are others who are somehow involved, and there's a lot of people who share similar traits, similar, they take similar types of actions because they are involved with things like sexual assault and other crimes. I receive the words cancel contractions. And this has something to do with canceling contracts. But somehow contractions is significant. I received the words a little fun with a justification. And this came to me in a man's voice. This is referring to bullying. And by bullying, I'm saying this lightly. Because what this is referring to is messing with someone's entire life to get them to kill themselves. It's also referring to sending someone in to kill them. And I'm being shown all of these things in my mind's eye. And I've spoken about all of these things taking place for someone in prior readings. This being a mother figure with children. This being someone who was sexually trafficked over video cameras. There have been more than one plot to murder this mother in some way where she may never be found, where it may look like an accident. I'm being shown images of violent sexual assaults. And one of these people, perhaps two or more, I'm getting there's a group of men who are involved with this, who are involved with sexual assaults, particularly of women, young women, girls, even. Anyone they can identify as being vulnerable. And that is who is targeted. Someone who appears to be in a destitute or compromising situation. Someone who may have an interest in those offering them help. Someone who may be in need of people in their life to offer them help. These are the types of people who are targeted. Having a little fun with a justification is referring to legal permission to toy with this woman. This is stalking, psychologically torturing, physically invading, and to authorize this through a court of law. What is coming through here is the institutionalized authority to take over someone's life, to illegally observe them, to report about them. And I'm getting there is at least one doctor involved, a counselor as well. There are multiple observers. I'm getting CPS. I'm getting multiple community members observing this woman and her children at parties. Parties where her friends are, her family, people who are watching her and mocking her and laughing at her crying. I'm getting the institutionalized authority through a court of law to do this. This was authorized and then concealed. The setting this woman up to be murdered was part of this. Whether or not a judge admits this, And I'm getting the word understanding because there is already a process in place for all of this to take place. This woman is not the first person they've done this to. There is an understanding of how this works, which is unspoken and unwritten. These things are understood because they are talked about privately at parties, at swingers parties, at sexual encounters through a modern-day brothel. Plans are made amongst specific people in the know, people in various positions of power, including judges, attorneys, law enforcement officers, teachers, court clerk employees, employees at the children's schools, doctors, CPS personnel, and friends. I'm also getting, with this word understood, false hearings. Okay. And this goes along with this word understood. There are court hearings where it is understood through the various actors, those involved, the people who know this woman, who are stealing her identity, as well as other people, attorneys. I'm also getting insurance agents, bank employees, notaries. So they're all working together to create what appears to be a court hearing. It is scheduled. It is performed. These people are actors. They are acting within their own personal positions of power and playing roles in order to facilitate the stealing of an inheritance of this woman who they're targeting. And they're doing this seamlessly because they've meticulously discussed it in private, planned it out, and they've done this before. There is a woman involved. She is the ringleader of all of this. Yeah. She's the ringleader in this community where this woman who's being targeted resides. She has a long history of swindling people out of their money, of dominating people's lives in order to place them in compromising positions, in order to steal from them, in order to take them out in some way. And being shown Selena. Selena came through in a prior reading which was posted on my community board. The woman who is this ringleader she has a deeply hidden inferiority complex. I'm being shown that she's quite outgoing. She has a lot of important connections. She's very entitled. There are others who have come to their demise because of this woman by various means. And I'm being shown a drug overdose, being shown poisoning, being shown several poisonings, though I'm only shown 2 people right now who have died. I'm getting the words, I'm not a saint. This was spoken in a man's voice. There is a man. He wants to apologize to this woman who's been targeted. Just received the name D, and I'm getting the last name spelled D. I'm also getting this person associated with being Irish, perhaps. I received the word evidence. I received the words your stock and your home. This is referring to this woman's inheritance. It is her stock. It is her home, which was stolen from the group of people and the nefarious methods I just described. I received the word sharp, and I'm being shown a pen. This pen belongs to the judge. It represents the killing of people, which is done with the stroke of a pen, which is done with a signature, an authorization, a position of power. I'm being referred back to an old man who died through this method. And I'm getting multiple people's signatures. I'm getting a nurse. I'm getting a coroner. A judge may be involved as well. I'm getting there's something having to do with a funeral home. This funeral home is in the loop somehow. Insurance. There's something what I'm being told is that there are certain people, certain actors who participate in the bringing down of a person before they die, such as poisoning, such as, this is hard to describe. I'm being shown, a lengthy process. that produces it's like the altering of a will. It has to do with coercion of a living person to set up their will in such a way that enables the living people, I forget what the word is called, the person who oversees the distribution of assets after a person dies. Spirit, please give me the word. Executor. Thank you. But the executor isn't the only one involved here, because the executor is taking a more hands-off approach. There's a woman involved who, co-opt is the word that I'm getting. And she takes over. She finds ways to be in the position of decision maker in many aspects. This is the woman who, this is the puppet master I'm describing. A person who has a lengthy history and experience of taking advantage of vulnerable people, particularly the dying, but also others who she is extremely jealous of. This woman has imaginings and will go to great lengths to create great plots to destroy someone's life, turning everyone in their life against them, children even. And I'm being shown this man whose children all went against him out of greed because of this woman's inferiority complex and her desire for complete domination and control over the person this man left in his will. I'm getting the book Grapes of Wrath. I have never read this book, but my understanding of the story is that it has to do with people going against others for their own economic interests. And so that makes a lot of sense here. I received the acronyms D and D. These are state agencies, Department of These agencies are likely involved in this in some way. I'm getting that it has to do with identification, producing identification or altering identification, stealing identification, I'm getting. There's someone who works at the Department of who is able or who has means to do this. And the Department of has to do with money laundering I'm also getting that this has to do with somebody who's higher up in the agency. With the Department of Labor, I'm getting that there's an employee who, I'm not getting that they're an administrator. I'm getting that they are more of a, lower in the hierarchy place of employment. Could be something like manager or supervisor, but I'm not getting anything higher than that. With the Department of, I'm getting someone at the top. I'm being shown someone at the top of a tall building. I'm getting that it's a man. And this person, I'm getting, has ties to the judge, also ties to a church. I receive the words, forever and ever, amen. And these are lyrics to an old country song. These lyrics are being associated with either the person at the top of this building, or it's being associated with someone else who's involved with this process. There may be another person who the judge in the Department of person knows. This person may be religious. This person may be somehow related to like country or rural life. They may have a farm or live in a rural area. This would be someone who's older, like 50s or higher. I received the word basement. I'm receiving the words thankful to your family and the word loyalty. There are people who are associated with this woman whose inheritance was stolen. This mother. There are family members of this woman or people who would be considered family, such as long-term friends or other people related to her in different ways, which would feel like family. Their loyalty has sustained to many people, but there is someone in particular that they are remaining loyal to. This has to do with covering up a secret. This has to do with saving someone's reputation. Someone who has been looked at by society in high honor. Someone who has made a name for themselves. Someone who, if the public were to find out about their involvement, they would be in shock. There are layers to this loyalty, as certain people are loyal to more than one person. I'm getting that although there is this loyalty, there is also a motivation from some to want to tell the truth. But that they were involved in some way, to greater or lesser degrees, having greater or lesser awarenesses of just exactly what they were involving themselves with over time. And I spoke of this in a prior reading where certain people, and not all, but certain people committed to something that they maybe didn't know the full extent of at the time. But regardless, over time, they did know. They are still choosing to stay silent. I'm getting the word friendships. Many people they know are involved. So I'm being given this feeling of like deer in headlights. There is a small number of people which want to do the right thing, but who are not, because it will impact basically everyone they know. I'm getting the word fridge and frigid. This has something to do with a dead body. I'm being shown like a home, like a rural home, where people often have an extra refrigerator in the garage or in a shed, an extra freezer. I'm being shown like a dead man. I'm being shown like a tall freezer with a dead man like standing up in it. And that's where this word frigid is coming from. But I'm also getting that he might not be there anymore. This man is Caucasian. I'm just seeing him in jeans and a t-shirt. I'm getting the word transported. Yeah. Who is the spirit I'm connecting with, please? I'm getting the word intelligence. Oh boy. This person in the freezer, they had knowledge about certain things, particularly about these crimes. And I'm getting the word intelligence because this man is being associated with being someone who may be in law enforcement or who is associated with law enforcement or even higher. I'm getting that this man knew something. And the word spy is coming through. Also the words double agent. I'm getting the words crossroads and crime. This person in the freezer, they were killed in some way because they knew of crimes happening to this woman, this mother, as well as other crimes having to do with this old man who left an inheritance. He knew a lot, I'm getting. He was killed for what he knew and for being at the crossroads of whether or not he should participate or continue to participate in these crimes. Earlier, I was shown the vision of the young man who showed me his grave. I did a reading about him in my community board. He's come to me several times. He's the person coming through here in this reading. He's letting me know his body was transported to the gravesite I described earlier in the community post reading. I'm getting the word influence and influencer. This man was someone who was supposed to influence this woman, this mother, the one being targeted. I received the words death spells. I received the word bathroom. This man is associated with a bathroom. He's giving me the song IDGAF. This man is associated with this woman in some way. He may have been put in charge or asked to be an influence on this woman. He's giving me the word reading. This woman, he's associated with this woman, this mother who's being targeted. She is an influencer, and she gives readings. And somehow this man who's coming through was able to receive a reading from her. Perhaps several. He is showing me the grave of the young man who came through earlier. He is associated with this grave. And if he is not associated with the burial, he is the person inside the grave. He gave me the word community. Also the name. When he gave me the name, he showed me a man standing in a large ditch full of foliage, tall plant life. And this man who's standing in it is waving. Oh my gosh. Okay. Some time ago, and I didn't post this on my community board, even though I wanted to. I don't like putting out a lot of negative things, but Spirit seems to want to channel these things through me, and they are important to know, and I do my best to get it out. There is a man. I picked up on him. Actually, what I picked up on is that someone was sacrificed, like human sacrifice. And this was to shut up this woman, this mother, this influencer. This human sacrifice was, so this human sacrifice was done against someone. There's multiple people here, oh my gosh. Okay. I'm picking up on 3 different people, 3 different human sacrifices. One of them is the one coming through, in which I'm strongly getting that he is the person in the grave that I described out in the woods, who's come to me a few times, who I couldn't quite see his face. Now he's coming through again. And whatever happened to him, I'm getting that he was placed in a freezer for a time before he was transported to the wooded area to be buried. This was to prepare for his grave. There was another man I picked up on in one of my earliest readings for the Dead Speak series. This man was murdered in what appeared to be a basement. And the word basement just came through today, I believe, in this reading. I'm pretty sure I said it earlier. I'm getting this is a different person, though. Both of these people are they're men in their 30s, maybe 40s. The man who was sacrificed in this basement, he was used for ritual purposes as a sacrifice to shut someone up. And this is referring to the woman they were targeting, this mother, this influencer. He could also be buried somewhere on the property of wherever this basement is. Possibly a garden. But this name that just came through, and I'm being shown this man standing in a ditch with a bunch of overgrown foliage. Some time ago, I received a premonition that following the ritual sacrifice of the man I spoke of just a minute ago, this didn't work. Their shut up spell didn't work. So they decided to do something again. And I'm getting that if it was a group effort, it would have been fewer people, perhaps even one person, but it could have been a couple of people, like 1, 2, or 3 people I'm getting at the most. But it seems that there's one person particularly involved, one person particularly motivated, even though I feel there are more people motivated. What I picked up on some time ago and that I wanted to post and never did is that a homeless man was going to be used for sacrificing. And I'm getting that that's what this is. This person's name could be, but because he's homeless, no one may know he's missing. And that is why he's waving at me. He's smiling. I'm getting he was a good person on the inside despite his circumstances. Yeah. Because whatever they did, they lured him. They lured him because he was a good person. He was naive, gullible, I guess. I hate using those words, but that's what they were looking for. Someone gullible. Someone who they could deceive in order to do another ritual. So this man's body may be in a ditch somewhere with a bunch of overgrown foliage, and no one may know he's missing. And if they find him, his name may be Richard. I received the word playground. This ditch, or his body, could be near a playground. I received the words college scenery. It feels he's trying to give me a location. He's giving me the word entrapment. He's referring to this woman who was entrapped in the grandest way. He's giving me the word transport, and although he associated this with the transporting of his body from a refrigerator or freezer to a grave, the word transport is more important. There's something significant about this. There's some kind of transport system, transport trucks, transport company involved here. He's giving me the word children. I want to thank this spirit for coming back. And I am disconnecting now.